topping the news, the nation's leader is forecasting an economic recovery for the island of Abaco that, along with Grand Bahama, was devastated by Hurricane Dorian 2 years ago. While sharing national plans inclusive of reducing VAT to 10% and increasing pensions for seniors, the Prime Minister shared how his government intends to have a direct impact on that family island community. Cleopatra Murphy has the details.
Government could soon launch a new housing initiative for hurricane-ravaged Abaco. Prime Minister the Honourable Philip Davis, addressing the 2021 Abaco Business Outlook Thursday morning, says in the wake of 2019's monster Hurricane Dorian, his administration is minded to pursue rebuilding initiatives with a bias toward action.
We are currently reviewing a house building proposal to build 150 homes. Several construction types are being considered, including modular and prefabricated housing. The prefabricated housing provides for a rapid factory to be built on Abaco, with the equipment brought in and people trained to operate them.
Hurricane restoration is not the sole issue facing that island, with the nation's leader mentioning a continued challenge in securing life insurance payouts for those deemed missing since the natural disaster. The Minute's administration buried 55 Abaco residents last May, but hundreds have not been seen since Dorian. The Prime Minister is hoping to bring some resolve and give families closure.
We are reviewing this to see what interventions may be required, legislative or otherwise, so that people aren't forced to wait 7 years for a formal presumption of death after a disaster. Apart from the financial burden this imposes, the psychological burden is immense.
He says even as the country moves toward recovery, the country will need to adapt as climate change is a growing threat. It's a concern he voiced during his recent address to the United Nations. Davis intends to again appeal to world leaders for greater climate-related funding when he attends the Climate Change Conference in Scotland later this month, an opportunity to remind them of the Bahamas' vulnerabilities. The Prime Minister says the country's fiscal position is another strain, as public debt is more than $10 billion, having doubled in 4.5 years.
We've yet to understand how these funds were applied or how they benefited the Bahamian people. Public revenue remains significantly down because of a combination of uncollected taxes, tax cuts for the wealthiest individuals, businesses, and properties, and a sluggish recovery with no articulated plans for growth. The news of a further credit ratings downgrade that had been suppressed until just after the election made the situation even more bleak.
Abaco business stakeholders also heard how government's plan to revitalize the economy includes overhauling the national investment policy, attracting high-quality foreign direct investment, and empowering domestic investors.
As we developed investment plans to build on the strengths of each island in the Bahamas, we will highlight the untapped opportunities we see within sustainable tourism, boating, sailing, and fishing, among other industries that need capital directed towards them.
He says the new investment strategy will look to build on those strengths, appealing to the business community that success will depend on all sectors of the community and that they have a key role to play. Cleopatra Murphy, ZNS Network News.
If you missed anything, we've got you covered. Subscribe to our ZNS Network YouTube channel and follow us on our social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter for breaking news, live event coverage, web exclusives, and much more.